Do they think it's the drug cartels? Do they think it's maybe a family member, an enemy of Savannah Guthrie? I mean, even Donald Trump likes Savannah Guthrie.
Right. He called her. And he said that he's going to send all the resources necessary. And in fact, Border Patrol was there to answer your question about who they may suspect. Border Patrol is there. Well, and I think we talked about this yesterday. Because of where her home is, they're thinking that maybe it was a drug cartel.
Tucson. She lives in Tucson,
Is that close to the border?
Yeah, I think it's about 45 minutes to an hour if you're driving. If you walk into the front door, I've been to Tucson several times. If you walk into hell through the front door, Tucson is the first town on your right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's my opinion of Tucson, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, obviously, I mean, I think she lived in a nicer neighborhood.
Right.
So then yesterday, just before I was finished on the air here, and you had already long gone home because you've got terrific hours. Just kidding. So it was probably around 10 o'clock. Yeah, probably around 10 o'clock yesterday. The New York Post put up a story that said, the last person to see her alive was Savannah Guthrie's sister's husband. So apparently mom had dinner with the sister and husband on Saturday night, and then he drove her home. He said he made sure that she got in the door safely. And that was it. Now, shortly after that, I'm watching Fox News. The FBI, police, now they're all in the front yard of the sister's home. And they carried something out. Not sure what it was. And then the next scene was all the police back at Nancy Guthrie's home. They had already released that home. It was a crime scene. And they released it back to the Guthrie family. Now they're all back there. So there was something that was happening yesterday, So
they'll do DNA test on the blood.
Yes, which was found on the front doorstep.
Yeah, and they've gone into, I'm sure, the home of the sister's husband.
Tommaso Cioni.
What's his name?
Tommaso Cioni.
So maybe it's the mob. Totally kidding.
Who didn't put that together already?
So, listen. It's a horrible situation. Hopefully, they find Savannah Guthrie's mother, and it's thinking about, because I mean, a lot of us have at one point or another had an elderly mother. Some of us still do. Some of you still do.
I do.
And it's horrifying to even think about without her medications, and thinking about how an elderly person who is terrified, they're being held captive, and the whole thing is just. Is just awful. So I think America is watching this, whether or not, you specifically are interested in this, people listening. I think a lot of people, I'm interested in this. And I generally speaking, I don't even pay much, if any, attention to the networks and, all that kind of stuff. But I know who Savannah Guthrie is. I've had an elderly mother. And so prayers and heartfelt hope for the mother of Savannah Guthrie. Now, Mason has arrived.
Hello, Mason. We're so happy to see you.
Good morning.
So, Joan, can I curse now? Can I say the AWS word now that the boss is no longer?
Right. He's probably not even in the car yet, so he wouldn't be listening. So go for it.
No, anyway. So we need to get up on YouTube. That's number one. And
we are up and streaming.
We are up on streaming. Okay, so folks, we are now streaming. And I also need a spot list when I can, Mason, if we could.
Email to your Dan show.
Okay, very good. 7:15 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and it's time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather for today, it's going to be cloudy, partly cloudy, and a high of 35. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, Joan, have you seen the big conundrum of the Los Angeles Dodgers?
No.
So they won the World Series. Mm-hmm. And so and that's the American sport of baseball, just so you know, Joan. And the Dodgers won the World Series. And so the World Series winner typically goes to the White House. So now you've got all these people in Los Angeles who are angry because the Dodgers are going to go to the White House and celebrate with Donald Trump. You've got all these people in L.A., particularly the unions, who are, despite, They're really angry that the Dodgers are going to be going to see Donald Trump amid the ongoing ICE raids in the city. This is from the Daily Mail. Yet following hundreds of immigration raids that have taken place in LA in recent months, as well as many more across the country, day laborers and immigrants' rights groups have been calling on the Dodgers to decline Donald Trump's invitation. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts also said recently, "I'm going to the White House. I am going to continue to try to do what tradition says and not try to make political statements because I am not a politician." You know, Dave Roberts, it's interesting because Trump is actually, I remember this, Trump has criticized Dave Roberts' managing style. Imagine being the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers and the president of the United States is, rage tweeting, criticizing your moves from the dugout. I mean, honestly, it's pretty funny. And Roberts has always just been, kind of cool. I mean, maybe there's been some things that he has said about Trump that I don't know because I don't really follow baseball much anymore. But I will say kudos to Dave Roberts and the Los Angeles Dodgers for not giving in to all of the pressure from all of these people on the left in California. But what's interesting? You have the residents of Los Angeles and the unions, need some audio, and the unions representing day workers protesting the Dodgers going to the White House, but they have nothing to say about the sheer corruption that is going on in their own state. Yep. Just in the last few days, we keep hearing about all of these incredible stories of corruption. So her name is Young Kim, and she's a congresswoman from California. She is, I believe, an American-born South Korean. And so she went on record calling out Gavin Newsom for the rampant fraud that is going on under his nose and watch. So again, you've got all of these, activists and the politicians in Los Angeles and the unions representing day workers hyperventilating over the Dodgers going to the White House, nothing to say about the fraud and the corruption that is going on in Los Angeles. This ghost student story, have you heard about this, Joan? It is insane. Fake enrollments built on stolen or made-up identities over the last several years under Gavin Newsom. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been lost because, and basically what's happening, let's say that, I decide that I don't want to actually work for a living. What I can do is I can utilize AI and come up with a bunch of fake identities, enroll in school, and get these grants that the federal government pays, the Pell Grants and so forth, and I get the money for the Pell Grants. But I don't have to go to school. I'm just getting the money. And so hundreds of millions of dollars have been lost because of all of this. It is amazing to me. And so it's like I always say, you are partly defined by what you're outraged over. Oh, the Dodgers are going to see Donald Trump. Pitchforks and torches, right? But nobody cares about the hundreds of millions of dollars lost under the nose of Gavin Newsom. Basically, you have all of these bad actors that are creating these fake identities, enrolling for financial aid in California, and all that money is just gone. So here we are again, right? Our federal government is tackling fraud in a state run by Democrats. Our federal dollars being wasted. And because the Trump administration has now gone, and we've been talking about this, the Trump administration going into California and trying to root out the waste, fraud, and abuse. Because why? Because Gavin Newsom wouldn't do it. So this congressman, Young Kim, is speaking to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. This was yesterday. And she says, yes, there is more fraud exposure to come. Mm-hmm. Right. Remember, Scott Besson is leading these efforts along with Dr. Oz to tackle the fraud in California. Now, I know that I can hear you. I can see you on the super text line. Meh. This is a California story, man. It's not a California story. It's the tax dollars of Tennesseans, federal tax dollars that are being wasted. Do you know how much here in tax time? Do you know how much the people of Tennessee pay in federal income taxes every single year? It is a crap ton, almost $25 billion. Much of that apparently now being wasted in states like California or Minnesota. And so now President Trump, and this came to light yesterday, I guess, President Trump, I think we've known about this. President Trump has now created or is going to create a federal anti-fraud task force that will try to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. And you know who's going to be at the forefront of that whole thing? J.D. Vance. Wait till you hear what he has to say. That is coming up next. 722, it is Nashville's Morning News. We are now up on YouTube. Thank you, Mason. And we've got Joan with the news at 7:30. Joan, what's coming up?
Yeah, coming up, we'll let you know how it is that Amazon caved to the leftists when it comes to the Melania movie. That story is at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at Window Nation. Listen, the cold weather and all that cold, this is supposed to stay outside, right? It's not supposed to come inside. Well, if you've got heat that is, ending up outside and the cold weather is coming inside that cold air, you've got to call my friends at Window Nation because it's probably because your window's insulation is failing. You need to call my friends at Window Nation right now. They've got a great deal going on. I've got 4 energy efficient windows in my home from Window Nation. You can get the same thing as well. Now, Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale, it is going on right now. You could also get them with 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You act right now. You also get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'll say it. I love that deal. An extra 10% off for Valentine's Day from my friends at Window Nation. People love Window Nation. 96% customer satisfaction rating. They've got over 45,000 5-star reviews. You know, they've installed over 3 million windows across the country. That is why I appreciate Window Nation. Again, I've got 4 Window Nation windows in my home. And right now, that great deal going on. Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale going on right now. You can also get them with 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You act right now, you get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Call them, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, 866-90Nation. Find them online. It is windownation.com, windownation.com. 728. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, we got a number of things going on, Joan.
Yeah.
Number
what's
one, people are cluing me in as to Nancy Guthrie's I guess there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
One is that they killed her for the insurance money. Stop it. Others are saying, well, it's the drug cartels. That makes the most sense to me. Number three is they're talking about various family members and all of that. So I obviously, clearly, I don't know. The cops are on the case, and so hopefully they find Nancy soon, especially if she needs her medications. So that is number one. Number two, we're trying to get Dr. Friday on the phone, and because just for the record, I was not, just so you know, this is probably before you were awake, Mason, but a super texter said something about no tax on tips. I read it, and I was disabused with the notion that the original text was correct about no tax on tips, standard deductions versus itemized and all that. So can Dr. Friday come on with us today?
Yeah, she said she's open to join. She just wanted to know what time would be best for you to have that conversation with her.
You want to do 8:05?
Yeah, I'll let her know.
Let's do 8:05. Joan, you all right with 8:05?
8:05 sounds lovely.
So here's what I would like to do. I would like you to, let's get your questions ready to go for Dr. Friday, your tax questions. If you have any, hey, Joan, this is why Mason's going to be ticked off that he answered the phone this morning.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like to do.
I'm going home.
Let's do we have the ability to have Dr. Friday on the phone and then have people call in and ask questions of Dr. Friday? Can we do that?
Yes, I should be able to do that. Yeah.
All right, so.
It's Mason. Of course he can do that.
So what we're going to do, we'll do that at 8:05. I mean, it'll be like a weekend show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But it's important, and I'll tell Dr. Friday the reason why we're doing this, because some people are saying that, they don't feel like the Trump tax cuts has been as advertised. And other people are saying, oh, they're absolutely as advertised. So we'll talk to Dr. Friday at 8:05 on Super Talk.
Good morning. It is 7:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, NES updating its outage map this morning, and it shows now 4,600 outages. Of course, that's down from 230,000 from its peak. Tennessee State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, talking with Matt Murphy yesterday, says the General Assembly is considering giving stakeholders outside of Nashville a say in the appointing of NES's governing board.
Maybe the city of Brentwood mayor or Rutherford County mayor, somebody, can have some appointing authority there, so there's some accountability.
That's another idea. During yesterday's briefing, one reporter telling Mayor O'Connell that she received an email from the chair of the Electric Power Board expressing total confidence in NES leadership. A unanimous ruling from a state appeals court that the records from the Covenant School shooting must be released. Channel 4's Marius Payton.
The appeals court ruled Metro Police can no longer claim the records are part of a pending investigation, since that investigation is now closed. Now, because of that, the court ruled police investigative records must be turned over.
Now, when it comes to the shooter's manifesto, the appeals court ordered that the trial court should review that manifesto page by page to decide whether portions of it can be withheld under school security exemptions. And when it comes to the Melania movie, Amazon caved to the leftists in Oregon. The Lake Theater and Cafe in Lake Oswego promoted the film on its marquee this way. The sign said, "To defeat your enemy, you must know them. Melania starts Friday." Another sign read, "Does Melania wear Prada? Find out Friday." Well, Amazon, which acquired the rights to that film, was so unhappy about that it pulled the film after just a few days. Afterward, the marquee read, "Join Amazon Prime for free 2-day shipping." That is the latest news. We've got your traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
7:33, Super Talk 99.7, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Now, this February, this month of love is in the air. And Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they are sweetening the season with their Valentine's Sweetheart Deal giveaway. Now, new customers, when you join the yearly Beehive membership anytime this month, you are automatically registered to win the Sweetheart Deal giveaway. Now, one lucky winner will enjoy an exclusive, relaxing massage from Third Coast Salt, Wilson County's best, and a $100 Visa gift card for a romantic dinner for two. Now, tune in for the live drawing Friday, February 13th. On Facebook Live right before Valentine's Day. And by the way, here in Tennessee, when storms hit, Busy Bee has your back with storm-focused savings ready to protect your home. Now, right now, get 40% off a whole home surge protector with repairs, or you can take $500 off select whole home water repipes. And don't forget the Busy Bee favorite 93 or Me mainline, I should say 93 or free mainline clog promotion. If they can't clear it, you don't pay. So don't wait. Call 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
Okay, westbound on 24, an accident with injuries past the Hoover Gap Road overpass. They're saying that it's at the Highway at 64 in Beech Grove area this morning. An injury crash in Woodbine on Thompson Lane at Nolensville Pike. 440 westbound in Berry Hill, a crash at I-65. Westbound. South Loop, there's a crash on 40 westbound at 2nd Avenue. And then just one more. It's in Forest Hills on Old Hickory Boulevard at Hillsborough Pike. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
7:38. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Real quickly, what J.D. Vance says about waste, fraud, and abuse in California and also Minnesota. But, Joan, you were talking about Melania's movie.
Yeah.
So apparently a movie theater in Oregon decided to drop it.
Well, what happened? It's Lake Oswego in Oregon, and they put up on their on the marquee, the way they promoted it, it said, to defeat your enemy, you must know them. Melania starts Friday.
Wow.
And then they had a second one that said, does Melania wear Prada? Find out Friday. So Amazon was like, yeah, okay, so this isn't going well. So they pulled the film after 3 days, and then the marquee read, join Amazon Prime for free 2-day shipping.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from what I can tell, the movie, it came out, pretty robustly, beating the expectations. Mm-hmm. Because, the people on the left, they're like, oh, this is going to do horribly, so on and so forth, whatever. But it came out 7 million in North America ticket sales, besting expectations. They say it performed best in Trump stronghold states like Florida and Texas, drawing primarily older white audiences and conservative viewers. I grokked this. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with older white and conservative viewers.
Right.
I mean, well, I'm not going to say it. Nope. Editing myself. So the bottom line is, and internationally, results were weak. And so basically, it came out in movie theaters, and then ultimately it's going to end up on Amazon. Is that what it is?
Say it again.
It came out in theaters first.
On Friday.
And this last Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to end up on Amazon at some point?
I would think it will.
Yeah. I guess they spent a lot of money to acquire the film.
They spent $40 million to acquire the film.
All right, now here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest in seeing this movie?
Oh, yes.
Amy does too.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe if it's like a chick thing, chick solidarity kind of a thing.
You know what? I love when we see Melania being very personable and talkative and funny, because the media only shows her as being, because she does this, she's very quiet.
Right.
She doesn't speak very often. So when she speaks, it's like, all right, this is cool. What does she have to say?
Oh, wait till Barron Trump starts talking.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I agree with you. I think Amy wants to see it. You want to see it. I do think there's a bit of a sisterhood thing. I don't know if I have no real interest in seeing it. I mean, I don't know why. I just don't. I think I'm sort of over politics, to be honest with you. But I really hate that she is being abused in that way.
Yes.
I think that it is so easy to be mean and nasty. And Melania, I think she is so graceful.
Yes.
And she is such an amazing person. She is such an amazing mother, from what I can tell, and how she protects Barron. I watched some of the Trump behind the scenes during the, I don't forget what it's called, but they did a documentary on Donald Trump running for the White House. And I've seen some of that, and it is fascinating. So maybe at some point I'll watch the movie. I'll sit down and watch it with Amy. But, people are saying, the people that have seen it, the critics have panned it, but the people that have actually seen it, like non-critics, they're saying it's really good.
Mario on the super text line has an interesting perspective. He said, Joe, Melania still got paid, so Amazon loses twice.
There you go. That's exactly right. By the way, the reference to Prada, that's in reference to the movie, right? The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Great movie, by the way. I think they're coming up with a second one from The Devil Wears Prada. You ever see The Devil Wears Prada?
No, I didn't see it. But
it's quite good.
Thank you, Mason.
I'm just not a moviegoer.
That's fair. But Meryl Streep and was Anne Hathaway killed it. I think it's a great movie. I watched it for the first time end of last year with one of my friends, and it's quite good.
All right, now I know what to watch this weekend.
There you go. Yeah, because you're always assigning me movies. Anyway, moving right along. So we're talking about fraud. And by the way, Dr. Friday, by the way, hey, Joan.
Yeah.
So you know how I do stupid jokes, right?
No, really? You do stupid jokes?
Well known.
So Dr. Friday is going to be on answering your tax questions.
Dan.
And so I want to throw down a joke, but I'm not sure if I should.
Well, now that you've gone this far, you sort of have to.
Well, do you think Dr. Friday would like this joke? So, Dr. Friday, if you were born like a few hours earlier, would you be Dr. Thursday? Hey, Dr. Friday, if you were born a few hours later, would you be Dr. Saturday? Like, do you think that'd be funny?
Yeah, I definitely think you should lay that one on her.
You think I should?
Oh, yeah.
I've never met Dr. Friday. So
You probably never will after this.
12
but-
years. 12 years. I've never met Dr. Friday. Anyway, whatever. So I'll probably forego the joke. Anyway, whatever. So 7:44, coming up on 7:45, fraud in California and also in Minnesota. J.D. Vance is on the case. The Trump administration is on the case. We're going to talk about that straight ahead. And 7:45, time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes, it looks like we are going to be partly cloudy skies and a high of 35. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News, Super Talk 99.7, WTN. I've played this a few times only because I think that it is important to note a couple of things. Joe Rogan, and for people that are just joining us, Joe Rogan kind of red-pilled on the fraud that is going on in these cities and states like Minneapolis, Minnesota, like Los Angeles, California, where he says, isn't it weird that the same places that we're seeing all of this rioting and anti-ICE stuff, we're also seeing all of this fraud?
If it wasn't for that Nick Shirley kid in those videos, and apparently Nick Shirley had been informed by the GOP there that this was all going on. So this gets exposed. It gets into the public zeitgeist. It becomes a huge news story. It's not a coincidence that the riots break out in the exact same place where all this fraud is being exposed.
Of course, yeah.
Because ICE is everywhere.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah,
over
yeah.
the place. But it's not. The most violent interactions are the interactions that are happening in the place where the most fraud has been publicly exposed.
Yeah.
This is all by design.
I mean, we've been documenting here on Nashville's Morning News. I don't have time to go through all of it, but we've been documenting the fraud in California. We've been documenting the fraud going on in Minneapolis, and I guarantee you that there's going to be more fraud. So now the Trump administration has created or is going to create this federal anti-fraud task force that is going to try to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. J.D. Vance is going to be the chairman. So you know what this does, right? What this does is it pits two presidential contenders against each other, J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom. J.D. Vance is going to systematically lay out how Gavin Newsom's leadership has led to all of this fraud in California.
Look, I think we have a fraud problem that is much worse in California than it is in Minnesota. I was talking actually to our small business administrator. I think she's found probably $500 million of fraud in Minneapolis and the broader Minnesota area. I think she's found $7 billion worth of fraud in California. So this is unfortunately a problem that is much bigger than Minnesota. But it highlights how absurd this effort to prevent the immigration enforcement is.
I mean, look, he's absolutely right. J.D. Vance, Vice President of these United States, and you did hear that, right? $7 billion in fraud just so far. I mean, that's just like skimming the surface there in California. You have Democrat rule. You've got Democrat-run states. You got a lot of illegal immigration. Equals fraud. That is what's going on. What do both California and Minnesota have in common? Rampant illegal immigration. Now, I don't know. Hey, Mason, can you grok for me? Is there a big Somali community in California? I'm just curious. You know, my radar is up, obviously, as everyone's should be, on the Somali community. You can call that racist all you want. I call that reality of the situation and reading and analyzing what is going on in Minnesota and some of these other states. But a lot of this fraud, it is coming from the illegal alien community and these Democrat-run cities and states. This is why fraud has gone up so much in the last 5 years, because of Joe Biden's open border. Here's more from J.D. Vance.
If you look at blue states, blue cities, You look at Memphis, Tennessee, not a Republican mayor. You look at red states like Texas, but blue cities like Austin. You do not see this level of chaos over the enforcement of our immigration laws. What you have is a small band of very far left people who are doing everything that they can, up to and including assaulting law enforcement officers and raiding churches, to try to make ICE out to be the ultimate enemy and to kind of engage in this weird small-scale civil war against federal immigration law. It's absurd. It's added a lot of chaos here in Minneapolis, and it's one of the problems why I'm here to fix it.
Yeah, and you know what's going to happen? So you have all this hand-wringing. I've already been seeing it. Oh, Donald Trump is going after his political enemies. Do you know what's interesting about that, Joan?
What's that?
Has anyone actually noticed that Donald Trump's political enemies are the ones that are mired in all of this fraud?
Oh, yes.
So if your political enemy is ripping off the American people, that says a lot about you, because that means that you are going after the people that are rife with in the places that have all of this waste, fraud, and abuse. So, yeah, if your political enemy is Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and Jacob Fry and Gavin Newsom, who are all Democrats and all involved in this waste, fraud, and rampant abuse, well, yeah, that says a lot about Donald Trump. He is against all of those things. There is no doubt that there's rampant fraud in California. By the way, Somalis in California, there's a big group of them in San Diego. So that should be, JD, if you're going to California, you might want to check San Diego. The California Globe reports that California really is the epicenter of fraud. You can pinpoint, I would say, Los Angeles and San Diego as a major source of those crimes. Now, here's what's going on in California with in Los Angeles with Karen Bass, the mayor of California. Apparently, the mayor of Los Angeles has now been accused, by the way, another Donald Trump political enemy. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, has been accused of covering up the city's mistakes and the fire department's failures to respond to those deadly fires a year ago. The LA Times has now reported that there have been edits made to the official, they call these like the autopsy reports. They look at the reaction to the fires and what led up to the fires, all of that stuff. And, it's like a review. Well, the LA Times, they're now reporting that edits have been made to the report by Karen Bass to protect her and her administration, because they're worried about legal liabilities. So what has changed? According to the LA Times investigation, the fire department's initial draft of the after-action report said the LA Fire Department's decision to pre-deploy all available engines did not align with the department's policy. The final version that was released to the public, however, said that the number of companies that were pre-deployed went above and beyond the standard LAFD, that's the LA Fire Department, pre-deployment matrix. In other words, they shanked the pre-deployment, and that's not all. Another deleted passage in the report also said that some crews waited more than an hour for an assignment on the day of the fire. And a section saying the fire department crews and leaders violated national guidelines on how to avoid firefighter deaths and injuries was similarly removed, the LA Times reports. Some of this sounds a lot like what we dealt with here in Nashville regarding the reaction to the ice storm, right? Which continues. I mean, it's almost like every single day we find out another train wreck. They say the changes wound up to the report. The changes wound up being so extensive that the author of the report, Battalion Chief Kenneth Cook, declined to endorse the final version because of changes that altered his findings and made up the report, in his own words, highly unprofessional and inconsistent with our established standards. Oh, look, another corrupt and fraudulent Democrat, Karen Bass, who didn't see that coming. So then when you look at what's going on here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee, where we have Freddie O'Connell with this little 9-person commission, 2 from Metro City Council and 7 that are going to be appointed by Freddie O'Connell. And we'll find out the decision in a year from now. Does anybody really believe that we're going to find out any real answers from that? Obviously not. It is 7:53 on Super Talk. All right, so we're getting ready. Joan, we got Dr. Friday. I've decided against the jokes, by the way. We've got...
I was looking forward to that.
You know what? I know, but I don't know Dr. Friday like at all. So I want to get off on the wrong foot by throwing down a stupid joke to Dr. Friday. She's really smart, by the way. So I'm actually, I don't know if do you know, Joan, that I've never done this before?
You never
Not
did
even
what?
in middays, where hey, call up with your tax questions. I've never done this before.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Could be a train wreck, so it might be kind of fun to watch.
it could. You know what I'll do? I'll throw the joke down after. Like the last thing that I'll do is I'll throw the joke down, and because then it won't be awkward, right?
No, not at all.
No. Well, but I won't have the entire segment to shame spiral over it while I've got her on the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so our resident tax expert, Dr. Friday, she's got a really cool weekend show here on WTN. She is going to be answering your tax questions. I know, 7:54. Super Talk 99.7. Joan's got the news at 8. Joan.
How public pressure helped a Nashville company to win a battle with its insurance company. It's coming up at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Matt is here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Listen, they want to help you feel better fast and save you $1 or $2 in the process. Now, when I came to Middle Tennessee, I was in a lot of pain. I went to the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and they fixed me right up utilizing that non-surgical spinal decompression. They've had that for years. Now, they've got a new piece of technology. It is called the Hydro Wave, and it is a new way to heal from your friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Now, this Hydro Wave, it is the first and only office in the state of Tennessee to have this new device. And right now, they are offering you 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression here in 2026. That is a great deal. 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression for the new year from the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Feel better fast. 615-246-5009 is the number. So if you've got back or neck pain, sciatica, slipped or bulging spinal discs, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, numbness or weakness in the arms and legs, fingers or toes, they can help you with this great deal. 47% off. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com is the website. Dan Mandis here, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could change your life. Painisbad.com.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump is right now speaking at the prayer breakfast in Washington, D.C., and he's got them laughing already.
And last time I came, I got in at 4 in the morning. They said, "Sir, you're going to be speaking at 7." I said, "Really? Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Where?" "National Prayer Breakfast." I said, "I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get."
All right, so we'll let you know if he breaks any news while he's speaking today. In the news, NES outages dwindling now 12 days after our winter storm, and NES says 4,600 customers are still without power this morning. You may have picked up a lot of brush around your yard since the storm. NDOT says it's going to start collecting all the fallen tree limbs and branches from the curb in front of your home. They say stack it up no matter how big or small on the curb, making sure to keep it out of the way of sidewalks, bike lanes, culverts, and storm drains. And have patience. The pickup could take up to a month. WSMV4 is reporting NES spent $250 million on its text message alert system. That same one that failed many Nashvillians in this past week. Channel 4's Holly Thompson on how that text message program got started.
In January of 2023, NES told people they would be committing $250 million to provide push notifications about outages. It wasn't until the December 2023 tornadoes that NES sent out text messages to about 22,000 of its 470,000 customers. Well, the text messages estimated when the power would be back on, but then nothing else.
So in January of 24, NES said that it would have more work done on that system. However, the problems have apparently not been fixed. A major insurance company reversing its decision about a Nashville plant shop. Clark Cacti Company in Old Hickory lost more than $100,000 in live plants during last week's storm. But Fox 17 reported this week that State Farm Insurance Company denied the owner's claims. Well, thousands of people shared that story, wrote comments, and tagged State Farm online. Fox is reporting that within hours, a supervisor called the company and reversed that decision, now saying that it will pay the claim. And an Illinois mom with a new warning for parents on a dangerous TikTok trend.
9-year-old Caleb is on the mend 2 weeks after he suffered third-degree burns. Caleb had taken a sensory toy called a Nido Cube and placed it in the microwave. The cube burst and the thick gel inside the squishy toy, now scalding hot, stuck to his face. Caleb was following a popular trend on social media. The goal is to make the toy more pliable. His mom says he didn't see it online, but heard about it from a friend.
That's ABC's Rena Roy. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Stock futures all pointing down now. The Dow futures minus 184, NASDAQ futures down 201, and the S&P futures, they're down 41. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones.
WTN News.
Yeah.
Hey, Joan,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in here. So we've got Dr. Friday on hold.
Yeah.
So the phone number is 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. If you've got a tax question for Dr. Friday, call in right now. And first time I've ever done this, but if you've got a tax question, call up and we've got the expert on the phone, Dr. Friday. So your call's coming up next here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here for Loan Pronto. Now, listen, low mortgage rates are back. Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. That is indeed the lowest in years. Now, smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Now, one homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans as well. And they cut their monthly expenses by $2,000. So call right now and see what option works best for you. But don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. 615-499-5780. You could even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, so you've got an accident westbound 24 this morning. It's in Christiana, and it's just past the Hoover Gap Road overpass, right around the Beech Grove exit. An accident involving some injuries. Also on the eastbound side of 24, this is in Laverne, a crash that takes out the right shoulder at Waldron, exit 64. Watching Cane Ridge Park, Battle Road at Burkett Road South. That's a crash there as well. Cockrell Bend on Briley Parkway southbound at County Hospital Road. Stop and go traffic there. The left lane blocked off by an accident. And Nippers Corner, Old Hickory Boulevard at Edmondson Pike. That's another scene of an accident. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.808 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in to Nashville's Morning News for a Thursday. Dr. Friday, our WTN's resident tax expert, is indeed on the line. Dr. Friday, I don't know if you heard what happened, but I've learned a very valuable lesson this morning. Don't dispense tax advice from the super text line. But it got me to thinking, you know what? It would be great just to have you on and people could ask questions about their tax return. One of the things that's going on, Dr. Friday, is that there are some people that have contacted me and said that, Donald Trump saying that, and Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, saying that they were going to get, great tax returns back. They're seeing that is not the case, not as advertised. Other people are saying it's completely the opposite. Dr. Friday, I know that everybody's tax situation is different, but before we get to these phone calls, what are you seeing as far as the promises that the Trump administration has made?
Yeah, I'm seeing that especially when everything is perfect, meaning the people's income is within the right area, that they're single or head of household or married filing jointly, they're seeing an increase. Is it 25%? Well, you have to be in a fairly high income bracket to actually get 25. You'd have to be at the top of that 150 for a single or 300 for a married, or for the tips, it's 75 and 150, right? So it does meet certain criteria, but the ones that do fall sweetly right into those numbers are seeing 15, 20% increases on the amount the tips give them. So if they have $10,000 in actual overtime or tips, they're seeing, $2,000 increase, or they're seeing a $1,500 increase.
Yeah. So what brought all this on, I don't know if you heard it, but somebody had said that the no tax on tips thing, you couldn't do that if you were taking the standard.
Not itemizing.
Yes. So that's not true.
I listen to you every morning, Dan. Of course I heard this.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Thank you, Dr. Friday. I'll spare you. Have you been listening the last few minutes? I was gonna throw a joke down on you, Dr. Friday. But listen,
I think I may have missed that.
Okay, so then I should have done it. But what I was going to say was, Dr. Friday, if you were born a few hours earlier, would you be Dr. Thursday?
Yes. Well, I happen to have a father that had 6 boys before me, so my name Friday was truly, thank God it's Friday, so Dad didn't have to have any more babies.
Oh, that is so funny. All right, very good.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's get to the phone calls. A lot of people want to talk to you. This is Bonnie in the borough on WTN. Bonnie, very quickly, what is your question for Dr. Friday?
Okay, very quickly. I was going to call your office, but since I have this opportunity, I'll ask on the air. I am the executor of my sister's estate. So my question is, do you do the 2025 final income tax return for her? And do you also do the estate return, which I do have the EIN number for the estate? Do you do those from your office?
I would do those, Bonnie, from my office, but if she passed away in 2025, the estate tax return probably wouldn't be due until possibly 2026, depending on when the EIN number was received. But yes, both of those are returns I do, and both I can help you with.
And real quick, thank you for the call, Bonnie. How can people, before we get to the next calls, how can people find you? Your website? What's your office number?
Yeah, the website's probably the easiest. The calendar's on there. It's just drfriday.com. They can also call the office, but at this busy time, it gets a little crazier, 615-367-0819.
Brian is on the road, and he's next on WTN. Brian, what's your question for Dr. Friday?
Okay, I got a question. I'm kind of confused. I'm collecting Social Security now, and also I'm on that marketplace. Do I have to file taxes since I don't have a regular W-2? Everybody says I don't have to, and some people say I have to. So I'm kind of confused. I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS.
Yeah, the IRS doesn't mandate it, but the marketplace does, because the marketplace bases everything on tax filing. So they will require you to file. Basically, it's a zero return. You could end up with a refund depending if you're making payments under the marketplace. But theoretically, you are required through the marketplace to provide them with a tax return, even if you don't have an IRS obligation.
Okay, one more quick question, then I'll leave you alone. When I start collecting Medicare, because I'm 63 now, that's going to take a couple years, then do I have to now be out of the marketplace? Then will I still have to file the taxes?
No, then you're following under the regular code, and there's no more tax filings unless you make money above the more than what your Social Security or standard deduction is.
All right, Brian, thank you very much for that. This is Harriet, and she is calling from Lebanon on WTN. Hey, Harriet.
Good morning, folks. Thanks for taking my call. Doctor, I'm wondering about overtime hours. I have 2 W-2s coming, and one company showed me the hours or pay that I made. The other company won't do it. So should they be doing that?
Okay, that's a great question. I was hoping someone would ask that, so thank you. So this year in 2025, employers are not mandated to report the information, but they should be providing you at least with what your overtime was, your last pay stub. Now remember, we don't get 100% of whatever your overtime. We only get that 0.5. So if you're looking at a pay stub, you need to divide your total overtime paid. Let's just say it's $9,000. You need to divide it by 3, so your actual reportable overtime to the IRS would be $3,000. You don't get to claim all of it. It's only the 0.5 above what your traditional income rate is or your standard hourly rate is. But employers do not have to do it, but at least get a final pay stub so we can work the numbers that way.
All right, Christy, thank you very much for the call. More calls coming in, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Your tax questions for Dr. Friday coming up at drfriday.com. Time to check the roads on WTN. All right, as far as your weather today, going to have a high of about 35 and partly cloudy skies. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. Roger is in Gallatin on WTN. Roger, go ahead.
I have a question. We've always paid a tax professional to do ours, and it seems like the past few years it's gone up $100, $150 each year. I'm a W-2 single employer. My wife's self-employed. She requires a few more forms. My question is it worth continuing to pay? I think this year it's going to be around $700 to pay the tax professional. Or is this something that I should try to attempt myself?
Good question. Obviously, you're talking to a tax professional. If it was just your W-2, no brainer. You could do it yourself. There's no real magic. But for a self-employed person, if your tax person is good, they're asking all the proper questions to make sure you're not leaving something on the table, therefore earning their money. If you feel this person isn't doing that, if they're just throwing numbers on a tax return that your wife has already put together, I'd say you might want to look for a more interactive relationship with a tax person. But it should be a relationship in which they're helping to keep you protected from the IRS, meaning no more audits, hopefully, or at least protected in the way that you have the documentation, and or saving you tax dollars because they're asking you about home office, pagers, or no one uses a pager anymore, cell phones, websites, whatever.
All right, thank you, Dr. Roger, and I'm kind of laughing at you using the term pagers. Welcome to my world.
I know. What was I thinking? Oh, my goodness.
This is Christy calling from the borough on WTN. Hey, Christy.
Hey, how are y'all?
We're good.
Okay, I have a question. My W-2, I have two from two different employers, and neither one of them had any federal income tax withheld. And I did not have that on my W-4 when I got hired, and it shows on my paycheck stub that I am claiming correctly, but I'm only work part-time. Is there some kind of income you have to hit before federal income tax withheld is taken out of your check?
That's a good question. The answer is yes. I mean, basically, we have what's considered the poverty level. So theoretically, since you're working two jobs, one, you need to look on your W-4. There's a box at the top that says, do you work multiple jobs? Because right now, each employer is treating you as if this is the only job you have. Therefore, each of them are probably putting you below the poverty level. But when you combine the two together, you actually probably owe taxes. Second would be is if you're working two jobs and this year you do your taxes, I would definitely strongly suggest on one of those two jobs having under box 4 an additional withholding, even though the tax code says you don't need to have any. Theoretically, you need to have some. So put in, maybe it's $20 a paycheck, $40, whatever, so that way you don't end up with trouble with the IRS because they're not, an employer just bases it on the tax code, but you're a little unique because you have two employers, two different jobs, and they neither know what the other person's doing.
All right. Very good. Last phones are going crazy, Dr. Friday. As you can imagine, we've got time for one more call. This is Dale from Goodlettsville on WTN. Hey, Dale.
Hey, actually it's Bill, but anyway, so the question was about overtime.
Mm-hmm.
FLSA exempt employee, I'm not allowed to deduct my overtime. Is that correct? Or am I misunderstanding
Well, I mean, so yeah, if you're not an exempt employee, so that's a good question. What is an exempt? Under the Fair Labor Act, they have basically a list. It basically says if you're managemental, if you're a higher salary, if you are a manager where somebody is below you, you're not going to be able to qualify because those are not the qualifying. They're trying to look for people that are waiters, waitresses, the working stiff, I guess I would say, to make that qualify. So if you're a managemental worker, I had a gentleman that was
not a manager.
What are you?
You
have a management?
I'm a network engineer.
Okay, yeah.
I don't manage people. Huh?
You don't have, but now you're talking about overtime, correct?
Yes,
Your
I am.
job
I'm talking
title
about
is
overtime.
Okay.
But
you're an engineer?
Employer, yeah, I'm a network engineer. Computer networking.
Well, there is a big list of ones there. Basically, for example, anyone in my office that works overtime doesn't qualify, people working in the tax industry. There is qualifications of areas. They're really looking more at, and can I ask if your income is over $75,000? Just yes or no? Not okay. Well, you're kicking yourself out because of it. Yes, there is some limitations to the job types. They'll consider you a higher earner, and therefore you're not going to qualify for this benefit. Sorry to say.
All right, Dr. Friday, thank you very much. You're very concise. I love that. So people can find you at drfriday.com?
Yes, sir.
When does your tax season? We're only in February. When does it really start heating up?
Right. Well, I mean, today I'll see about 12 people, but usually it starts about middle of February when everyone gets their forms, right? So it's still a little early for 1099s and stuff to be out. So probably mid-February, February, March, and the 1st of April, obviously we're crazy, and then after that we're back to a normal life.
All right. Well, good luck with this tax season, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, DrFriday.com. It is 8:21, Super Talk 99.7. WTN. Joan has the news coming up at 8:30. Got a lot more straight ahead on WTN. Dan Mandis here talking about my friends at the Glock store. Now, much like a lot of our Nashville neighbors, the Glock store, they were out of power all last week. Well, the power is now back, and so is the Glock store. Great news. The retail portion of the Glock store is open. Unfortunately, the training right now is not, but they will be open soon. You can still go to their website and schedule some training in their amazing Shoot 270 indoor training rooms if you would like to. I went through that. I absolutely loved it. The retail showroom, again, is open. Some incredible deals going on right now during the great ice storm of 2026 sale. The deals include the new Glock GTL2 weapon lights for less than $155, 43X magazines for under $19, the Savior Specialist range bags, the limited edition Desert Night, and the Tiger Stripe camo. All of those are on sale and in stock, by the way, and much, much more. You want to check them out. You can find them online, glockstore.com. You can also find them minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Find them online, again, glockstore.com. If you want to check out their Shoot 270 indoor shooting range, shoot270.com. Dan Mandis here, and yeah, it is too cold to go outside. However, eventually it's going to get warmer, and eventually we'll all be going outside again. But if you want to get really back into, playing shape, if you will, and you want to get back into shape and you want to look better and feel your best, my friends at Contours, they can help you. They are experts in red light technology, and they can use it to literally melt inches off your midsection. Now, Matt Murphy's done it. I've done it as well. We both loved it. We both saw results. Now, you can get started for just $99 to see if it works for you. No contracts, no gimmicks. No gimmicks, just a guarantee that you are going to lose 2 inches in the belly, or that first visit is absolutely free. Again, I've done it. Matt's done it as well. Now it is your turn. It takes an hour a week. It is indeed FDA cleared. It does not hurt you, and no, it doesn't damage you either. It is red light-based technology. It is all the rage these days. It is new, and it does work. And Contours specializes in it for targeted fat loss, facials, and a whole lot more. Now you go, you try it, and you like it. You buy a Belly Buster package, you get 3 free maintenance visits. That saves you $1,500. And it all begins with that $99 special. That's going to get you that first consultation and treatment. And right now, the first 10 callers get it. $99, you are going to see results, or it's free. That phone number to call, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, ContoursLLC.com. $8:29, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, Joan, you know the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished"?
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I bring on Dr. Friday to answer questions. Had a lot of people, had their questions answered. I'm getting hammered on the super text line because people wanted me to ask Dr. Friday their questions, and the phone was blowing up. I'm sorry, I didn't get to everybody, but.
Dang you, man.
See, no good deed goes unpunished.
That's correct.
This, Joan, is why I don't do any good deeds. Totally kidding. Whatever.
True.
All right, moving right along. Anyway, so we do have the crisscross handoff coming. Joan, is it just me, or is it just saying to Mason off there, it's been a little bit of a weird show?
You think?
Because I do think. We'll talk about why coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning now, 8:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There's an investigation underway right now after a man was found burned to death in the Midtown neighborhood early this morning. Here's Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac.
Someone called 911 after seeing a man in a wheelchair on fire, but investigators say they did rush to the scene, and when they got here, they found that man. He died at the scene. Homicide detectives are now working to piece together what led up to this, and also arson detectives are looking into this as as well. They're trying to figure out how this fire started, as well as the series of events that led up to that.
Channel 4 also saying staff from nearby Ascension St. Thomas Hospital were on the scene along with police and fire crews. In Overton County, a boil water advisory. The water company saying it's trying to find a leak.
Overton 911 says that potable water distribution sites are being set up for those without water. Schools in the county are closed today as well as tomorrow.
Channel 4's Marius Payton. Now in Manchester, a water conservation request has been issued by the Hillsville Utility District. In an email message, Hillsville saying there is a regional supply constraint for surrounding counties and districts. The utility is asking customers to use water only for essential needs. Nike is under investigation, a federal investigation, over allegations that its diversity initiatives discriminate against white employees and white job applicants. White employees also say they are disproportionately targeted for layoffs. The Equal Opportunity Commission said Nike is refusing to comply with a subpoena seeking information. Last week, Nike announced it's cutting 775 jobs, primarily affecting distribution centers in Tennessee and Mississippi. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Starting off this morning in the red with the Dow Jones Industrials down 212, the NASDAQ falling 322 here at the open, and the S&P 500 index is minus 65. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 8:32 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, thank you to Dr. Friday for coming on. Again, drfriday.com is the website. Mason, her show is on Saturdays at 2.
From 2 to 3.
From 2 to 3 here on Super Talk 99.7. Great show. I've listened to it myself when I'm in the car, although I try to stay away from the radio on the weekends. But she's been on for years, Dr. Friday. So a very trusted voice for taxes here in Middle Tennessee. And again, appreciate her coming on. Generator Supercenter. Now, if there's one thing that we have all learned over the last week is that we simply cannot count on certainly NES or the government for anything, let alone keep the power on, which is why I am reaching out to my friends at the Generator Supercenter to start figuring out my needs for my family. How about you? Now, I learned how important generators are during power outages during my time in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And last week as well, of course, a not so subtle reminder as to the power of Mother Nature and its power to take your power down. So if you've been talking about whole home backup house generators with your family, talk about it with the pros at the Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is not only a huge investment in your home, but it's also an investment in your family's safety. Now, they do feature expert installation. They do feature 24-hour monitoring. They're not going to leave you in the dark. And yes, financing is available. So call them, 615-879-1952, 615-879-1952. Find them online anytime. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. Generator Supercenter of Nashville.com.
Well, you got the accident this morning in Cane Ridge Park, Battle Road at Burkett Road South. There is an accident as well in Christiana. It's 24 westbound side, been there for a while, just past the Hoover Gap Road overpass. You've got some delays as well on Briley Parkway southbound in Cockrell Bend, right at County Hospital Road. A crash there is taking up the right shoulder. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. How would you like to have a guarantee that your internet would not go up for 5 years? I want to tell you about my friends at Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee. It is their gold medal celebration. You know, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing they could be next. Well, Xfinity obviously can't guarantee that, but what they can guarantee is something just as important, that your internet price is not going to change for 5 years. No contracts, no commitments, just the same internet price for 5 years guaranteed. And there's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Right now through February 22nd, get their best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years, guaranteed just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That is a $10.99 value a month. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY. Visit xfinity.com or drop into a store today. .838, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm totally going to kick your ass in YouTube numbers today. And I'm big hype. Normally,
yeah,
I have to wait for the days when you're not here at all.
Yeah, I know.
Or when you do something to get yourself kicked off YouTube.
Sure.
Vaccines aren't real. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, as I was telling Joan, it's been a day. Like, and now for people that are just joining us, the day started out with Sam oversleeping. So I had to actually like bring me and Joan up on the board and try to call everybody that I could. What did you say?
It sounds weird.
Yeah.
What? Bring Joan up on the board.
Bring the audio.
Yeah, bring the
Joan
audio
and
up.
Dan up
It's
on the
radio
board.
talk.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, radio people, y'all got your minds in the gutter. My mind is the mind of an angel. Anyway, so we.
Wow, we're lying this early?
Anyway, so we did a half hour, like me and Joan, just literally not playing any commercials or whatever.
Let's go.
Then I got to do 90 minutes in front of the boss, which is really fun.
That's awkward.
You know what the great thing is, though? Like, I didn't curse once.
Congrats.
And I took my breaks almost on time.
And then he was gone before he had to hear the Dr. Friday joke. Was everybody else in the audience? Everybody knew you were going to do that joke, right? Like, it wasn't just me driving in.
Honestly, I wasn't going to do the joke. And one guy on the super text line actually said, and it impacted me because I really do read the super text line. One guy says, dude with the jokes, give it up, bro. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it.
Everybody knew you were going to do it.
The guy told me that Joan. The guy told me, "Give it up, bro,"
Yeah.
and he used the term "bro," which was very
condescending. It's
condescending.
Yes,
that's not even passive aggressive. That's aggressive. You want to get my attention? Call me bro.
Yep.
So I wasn't going to do it, and then I had Dr. Friday on the phone, and I went for it, and I wand.
Yeah, she. It sounds like she may have heard that joke before.
No.
Or some variation thereof.
There's no situation. That was an incredibly original joke.
So when I'm in the car and I hear you say to her, I had a joke. I felt like Michael Scott from The Office. I was like, no, no.
Don't do it, man. The joke was for people that are just joining us, and then we'll get on.
Just because if it didn't land the first time, it's going to land now.
Yeah. Dr. Friday, I said, if you were born a few hours earlier, would you have been Dr. Thursday?
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Whatever.
The joke isn't for the audience. The joke is for me, Joan, and Mason.
Yeah. Anyway, moving around. Whatever. I thought it was a funny joke, but clearly I was the only one.
No, it's great, Dan. It's great.
Thank you, Mason. Checks in the mail. Anything else going on?
Okay, so the Savannah Guthrie stuff.
Yeah.
If it turns out to be the cartels, what does that do for the American public and the attitude towards ICE? Like if we're going down the hypothetical trail,
or if it's an illegal alien,
if it's an illegal alien, if it's a cartel, if this ransom is reality, what does that do for the American public and the mainstream media and the attitudes toward ICE? Because I mean, you saw in the NBC interview last night, they said, right after it, he goes, I just want to let everybody know, after our interview with President Trump, he called Savannah.
Yeah.
And he let her know that, we're praying for you and we're
we're
with
sending
you.
resources into Tucson.
Yeah.
Which is just one of the kindest things. Does that change attitudes?
I hope that it does. And I would not want to politicize Savannah Guthrie's mother's abduction, Nancy, but the reality is that everything today is politicized.
Yep.
Everything today is politicized. So I hope they find her.
I have to say this. I remember one time Savannah Guthrie interviewing President Trump and coming away from that interview looking like she just ate a really sour pickle. She just looked like she did not want to do it. She did not like him. She was not enthralled about this moment.
Yeah.
She did not want to be there. And President Trump overcame those objections, which I'm sure he does all the time. And he was being gracious. He's been gracious.
Yeah, he has been gracious. And I think that do you know what I think is going on? And Joan, you're the mom of the show. Do you think that Donald Trump, because I've got the audio, I'm sure that you know the audio, where he was talking about how we need a softer touch on immigration. I think that what President Trump is trying to do is he's trying to moderate his image and his rhetoric. I don't know. What do you think, Joan?
I think that's very true. Yes.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to massage the messaging a little bit.
Yeah.
And he has to come off a little bit more gentle than...
He's seen the polling.
Yep.
I think as much as we may or may not believe in the polling whatsoever, Donald Trump does believe in the polling.
Yep.
So I think that's what he's doing.
It's an optics war. Always
it's
has been.
Totally an
Always
optics
has been.
war. Somebody sent this to me, and we're talking about Billie Eilish. You know what I'm going to do, Joan?
No.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Steve? What's your name?
Steve.
Steve.
Where the hell did Steve come from? That's not even close. I would have let a Carl slide.
I don't know where Steve came from. That is actually pretty weird.
Yeah, Cash. You said Steve.
So the whole Billie Eilish...
Steve. The Steve Hand Show.
I don't know where it came from, man. I'm losing my ever-loving mind. I told you, it's been a weird show.
It's like Steve from Blue's Clues.
Okay, you know what it was? I'm going to tell you what it was. You mentioned The Office. That put Steve Carell in my head because he used to be on The Office.
Wow.
I know. It's like my mind is on a 7-minute delay.
So
I know.
interesting.
Shocking, right? So there is now we were... Do me a favor, Steve. Reset the Billie Eilish thing real quick.
Okay, so she was at the Grammys, and she said, no one's illegal on stolen land. And then she said, F ICE, and she was very angry about everything.
And then it turned out that her $3 million home was on stolen land.
Yes.
And so the people that have the original Indians, whatever, Native Americans that were in the LA basin came out and actually called her out and said, well, Your home is on our stolen land. Now there is a law firm that is willing to help these Native Americans to evict Billie Eilish.
It's hilarious.
Isn't that great?
I love it.
So the Sinai law firm is offering to evict Billie Eilish from her Los Angeles home on a pro bono basis on behalf of the Tongva tribe. Sinai law firm is the premier eviction firm in the country. How funny would that be?
It would be poetry.
No coat. Get her out of here.
Get him out.
Get him out.
Send her home to her mom.
I think that'd be funny as all
She's
get
moving
out.
into her mom's basement.
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
The guy also says, and I'm just seeing this for the first time, somebody sent this to me on Facebook Messenger. On a more serious note, using a phrase like stolen land has meaning and actual implications in the real world. Both Santa Monica and West Hollywood City Council meetings each start with land acknowledgments that they are sitting on stolen land. We have county supervisors reciting. Here we go. We have county supervisors reciting those lines too. It is both empty virtue signaling and use as a weapon at the same time. It's empty because no elected official is giving the land back to the Tongva, just like Billie Eilish is not going to get evicted, nor will she give her house back. It is used as a political weapon to attack things one side doesn't like in both local and international politics, and worse, justifying political violence. No land is stolen, just taken. I don't make the rules. That's just the way history works. Who is this guy? Real estate lawyer? Sinai law firm? I'm sure this guy is somebody, and I'm sure people are telling me who it is, but well done, whoever you are.
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's exactly right. Real estate lawyer. I got to follow him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reward him with a Dan Mandis follow.
Let's go. He didn't know. He didn't know he was waking up to that.
That's exactly right. As you said, not all heroes wear capes.
It took me a year and a half to get a Dan Mandis follow.
Do you know what's so funny? I've known him for less than a minute, and he got a follow. You got to earn it, Chris or Steve or whatever the hell your name is.
I took that personally.
You know what? I've been trying to follow Steve Hand all this time. I couldn't find him.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Moving right along.
Jane Jones is out there too.
I suck. Anyway, what else is going on?
Have you followed John Harper yet?
John Harper?
Yeah.
No.
Steve and his wife, Victoria.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Jay Harper?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I have not. Whatever. Moving right
Mike
along.
Murphy.
Anyway, what else is going on?
Not much, man.
Is there anything you have to say?
No. Did you see that Kamala Harris might be coming back today?
No, come on.
No.
So they posted the Kamala HQ Twitter account.
Yeah.
Here, I'll DM it to you. They posted this thing, and it's so weird, dude.
Well, the problem is I've been calling her Camellia all this time.
Camellia.
So maybe that's why I don't know.
I can't find her anywhere. Where's Cami Hari? I don't know. All right. So they posted this thing, this Kamala HQ.
Yeah.
And it said they're like logging in. They're logging in this video, and that's all they posted was a video, and it says tomorrow. And as they're putting in all these passwords, the craziest thing happens, right? They keep putting in a password to log into the Kamala HQ Twitter account.
Yeah.
But the second password they tried was the babysitter is weird, which I didn't understand the reference. And then I thought, are they referencing Doug Emhoff's affair with the babysitter?
The nanny, right. And the resulting baby that I guess was, they lost the baby miscarriage.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
But is the Kamala HQ account under Kamala? Was it purchased? Does somebody have access to it? Are they going to start blasting Kamala? Or
was it hacked?
Or are we going to see Kamala announce her run for president?
But why the babysitter is weird?
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe to gin up some hype.
Oh, you don't. But why would you reference the babysitter? That's like the Clintons referencing Epstein.
So password 1 that failed was way too online. Password 2 was the babysitter is weird. Password 3 was Project 2025 was real. And then password 4 was headquarters, and then it successful login, and then it says tomorrow. And that's all we got on the video.
Ah.
And it got posted yesterday.
Joan, looks like we've got content for a Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Kamala Harris is coming back. I don't know. You know what the thing is, though? Here's the thing. Is that we earlier had a segment about the fraud in Minnesota and about how California, J.D. Vance is going to be the guy in charge of rooting out all the fraud. I love the fact that Trump is pitting J.D. Vance against Gavin Newsom, as J.D. Vance is there to root out the fraud in California. You're talking about two very high-powered politicians, both gunning for the presidency in 2028. This is going to be epic.
It's going to be awesome.
I cannot wait to see this.
Have you heard them saying that the hospice fraud in California is worse than the Somali fraud in Minnesota, the daycare fraud?
Who was it? Dr. Oz said nobody dies.
Yeah, they have 100% survival rate.
Yeah, nobody dies in California, and they just keep using these identities over and over again to build millions, maybe billions of dollars.
If you're Governor Newsom, who makes you more nervous showing up at your door? Is it Dr. Oz, Nick Shirley, or J.D. Vance at this point?
You know what? All three of them should have worked together to take him out.
They're going to form a fraud Voltron.
A what?
A Voltron, Dan.
What's a Voltron?
That's
Steve.
Mason knows. Come on, Mason. He knows. It's the robots. They form together and they create a much more larger robot that is capable of fighting much larger foes.
Oh, like the Transformers.
Better.
Okay, good.
Do the Transformers combine?
There are some iterations where they do, yes, technically.
Boom.
There's also iterations where the Transformers are actually really putting an emphasis on the trans.
Yeah.
So I don't watch that one. They do.
Are you
there
serious?
was one. Yeah, there was a Netflix one where the Transformers was a they them.
No.
I swear to you.
I don't
The Transformers were they them?
Yeah,
In
they
the-
said
in
I
the
don't
new one on
identify as a
Netflix.
he or a she. I'm just a them.
Which voice did they use? Like, was the voice a high pitched voice?
It was a high pitched voice that was trying to be very deep. Hold on. Open up your DMs because I'm gonna get you that the Transformers one. Now that we're down on a rabbit hole, Netflix, of course, produced this.
Yeah.
And
Is it safe to air?
Yeah, because it's a kids show. I mean,
wow,
it's not safe for the kids.
Can you switch?
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
Are you kidding?
He or she just doesn't fit who I am. My apologies. Please switch their piece.
It's the Netflix Transformers Earth's Park.
Earth's Park.
This is what they do all the time in all these kids shows. They'll get one that was safe for us growing up.
Yes.
And then they'll repackage it and make it super woke. And then your kids will come up to you and be like, "Hey, Dad, can I watch Transformers?" And you're like, "Heck yeah. Optimus Prime, Decepticons, let's go." And then they're like, "Actually, you stupid bigot."
I guarantee you the next is going to be Olive Oil. Now it decides that she's a he.
Right.
Because, Olive Oil. Do you know Olive Oil?
Yes.
Do you know Mason Youngling? Do you know Olive Oil?
Yes, partner to Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah, boy. So, she was not exactly...
She was homely. Just say it.
Not a lot of women to Olive Oil, matter of fact. That's all it...
And homely.
Just built like a strand of spaghetti.
That's exactly right. So I could see her identifying as a man and not a very manly man at that. So there you go. Are we done?
I think we're getting close.
Are we? All right, Joan, what is coming up?
All right, coming up in the news, Mayor Freddie O'Connell's idea for making Nashville more resilient. We'll tell you what that is coming up at 9 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$8:55, Nashville's Morning News. Mark Spain Real Estate. Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Choose when you want to move. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Dan Mandis here. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the uncertainty of a traditional home sale and sell your home fast with an all-cash offer in as little as 21 days. Now, this is what their client BR had to say. Mark Spain Real Estate sold my home within 30 days. We received 4 offers in just 1 week. Thanks to Mark Spain Real Estate, the process was by far the easiest and quickest. He says, I would definitely recommend them to my friends and family. And I, Dan Mandis here, couldn't agree more. I'm always impressed with how easy Mark Spain Real Estate makes selling a home. For 30 years, Mark Spain Real Estate has been serving families just like yours, and they've helped over 72,000 satisfied clients. You can trust the most experienced real estate team in America to sell your home stress-free and for the most money. 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.